The first scream cut through the night like broken glass. Detective Cole Maddox's tires hissed to a stop beside a half-lit corner in East Briar, a place where the shadows always seemed to lean in to listen. Neon signs sputtered. A cat darted across the street, tail high like a question mark. Maddox stepped out, scanning the block. That's when he saw her. Mid-30s, black, leather jacket over worn jeans and boots. Standing under a flickering lamp at Ashland and Ninth. No one else around. He closed the car door slowly. Evening. What brings you here? I'm working, she replied evenly. Maddox's brow lifted. Working the strip? He smirked. Sure. ID. She hesitated. That was enough for him. Turn around. Hand behind your back. I'm not. You are now. Loitering. Suspected solicitation. She complied, but her voice was ice. You have no idea who I am. I know exactly who you are, Maddox said, cuffing her with practiced speed. Back at the precinct, the truth detonated. The woman was Detective Alina Cross, elite undercover from Internal Affairs. A 10-year record, commendations, and an active infiltration into East Briar's trafficking network. Captain Rourke's voice thundered through the squad room. Maddox, you just blew a 2-month sting. She could have been killed. Alina's words were surgical. You didn't investigate. You assumed. The cuffs came off, but the damage had already burned through. 3 nights later, Maddox found himself at Mercy General Hospital, watching Alina breathe through bruised ribs and a swollen jaw. Her cover had been shattered, her near abduction almost successful. They were moving me tonight, she whispered. I left you as a breadcrumb. The system was supposed to notice I was gone, not you. Maddox swallowed hard. I faced killers before, but cuffing one of our own in her own neighborhood, that's on me. Rourke arrived with news. We raided Finch's place. Empty. But we got ledgers, burner phones, lists. He's tied to 4 dirty cops. Alina will tell her story. Maddox, you're helping. Me? You're not the poster boy for reform, Rourke said. You're the bridge. You'll work oversight and community liaison. You'll listen to the people we usually ignore. The next day, Maddox stepped into the oversight division. Dusty complaint files. Fading posters about integrity. Glares that burn like acid. That evening, in a cramped rec center, he sat among folding chairs. No badge. No gun. Just Cole Maddox. Miss Laverne lifted a photo of her teenage grandson. They stopped him 3 times this month. Made him sit on the curb like a stray. Now he walks like he's already guilty. A man across from her spoke, voice shaking. You don't see us. You see suspects. Never fathers. Never sons. Maddox stayed silent. For once, he just listened. Outside, Alina appeared, her gait slow but steady. Finch had a longer list than we thought. Someone tipped him off. Someone's still wearing a badge. You think they're watching us? Maddox asked. I know they are. She handed him a flash drive. Start with closed complaints tied to Officer Marlowe and Detective Huxley. Both show up in Finch's books. Quiet transfers, purged files. Someone's cleaning house. Maddox pocketed it. What if I find something big? Then we burn it all down, she said, eyes cold. Days later, Maddox sat in a dim archive room, a single desk lamp haloing the dust in the air. Complaint after complaint, all signed off by the same approving hand. Transfers that didn't exist in payroll records at the bottom of one folder. A name stopped him cold. Elias Maddox, his father. Before he could breathe, the door creaked open. Agent Reeves stepped in, weapon drawn. You've been digging where you shouldn't, Cole. Behind Reeve, a slow clap echoed from the dark. Director Alina Cross stepped forward. Her tone was razor sharp. Congratulations, Agent. You've just confirmed exactly what I needed. Reeve didn't lower his gun. You're out of your jurisdiction, Director. And you, she said, are in contempt of every oath you swore. Cole's pulse thundered. What's going on? Alina didn't answer. She looked at the folder in his hand, then at Reeve. Drop the weapon. For a moment, the air didn't move. Then Reeve smirked, tilting the barrel away, only to glance over Cole's shoulder. Cole turned. His father stood in the doorway. Judge Elias Maddox. The man's face was pale, but his voice was steel. Son, you need to walk away from this. Now. Cole stared at him. How long have you been in this? The judge didn't blink. Long enough to know you won't survive if you keep digging. Alina stepped closer, her hand hovering near her holster. He's part of the network, Cole. That's why Finch was untouchable. The judge's jaw tightened. You don't understand the scope. Then explain it, Cole said. I can't, his father replied. Not without putting a target on your back the size of this city. The fluorescent lights above flickered, then went out entirely. Somewhere in the dark, a door slammed, and a voice neither of them recognized whispered, close enough to feel the breath. You're already too late. Marcus tensed. You think they're watching us? I know they are. Lena handed him a flash drive. Finch wasn't just running a trafficking ring. He was building a network. Start with closed complaints tied to Officer Mays and Detective Kruger. Quiet transfers, buried files. Someone's cleaning house. Marcus pocketed the drive. What if I find something? Report it. Loudly. And if it points to people still in power? Her eyes were cold. Then we burn the whole damn thing down. Judge Elias Thorne's face drained of color. For a moment, the once untouchable man sat frozen, hands trembling. Agent Miller's sidearm stayed trained on him. Silence swelled until a slow clap came from the back. Director Lena Graves from Internal Affairs stepped forward, her tone razor-sharp. Agent Miller, you've just exposed the rot we've let fester too long. She turned to the officers. Lower your weapons. Most obeyed immediately. Sergeant Vega hesitated, glancing at Thorne. But the judge, once feared, was reduced to a stammer. You have no authority here. You're in contempt of every law you swore to uphold, Graves said. Your court is no longer your kingdom. She nodded at Miller. Cuff him. The metal clink of restraints rang louder than thunder. You'll regret this, Thorne growled. No, Miller said evenly. You'll regret everything you thought wouldn't catch up to you. The courtroom doors burst open. A wiry man with camera gear rushed in, followed by two reporters and a woman in a wheelchair. Eloise Garner, a former city clerk wrongfully imprisoned by Thorne's rulings. You remember me? She asked quietly. Thorne looked away. Journalist Marcus Flynn leaned into the mic. We're live. Judge Thorne, care to comment on tampering with evidence and colluding with criminal developers? Thorne tried to lunge forward, but the cuffs held. Miller faced the cameras. This is what justice looks like when we stop protecting monsters in robes. Graves stepped up. As of now, Elias Thorne is suspended. An independent tribunal will handle charges, bribery, obstruction, conspiracy. Outside, chants rose, justice for Eloise and the corruption. Signs waved like flames. This courtroom is closed for federal investigation. Graves continued. All prior rulings will be reviewed. From the back, a young officer called out, What happens to those already sentenced? We begin with the ones silenced. Graves replied that Eloise's eyes filled. Maybe the next little girl lost in this system won't grow up behind bars. I'm sorry it took so long, Miller told her. She smiled faintly. You showed up. That's what matters. Outside, media swarmed. Drones hovered as Thorne was led out in cuffs. Protesters cheering louder than sirens. Cameras caught the fall of a man, once considered untouchable. Inside, the courtroom sat in disarray. Chairs overturned, papers scattered, but a heavy peace settled. How many more like him are still out there? Graves asked quietly. Enough to keep me busy, Miller replied. Then don't retire yet, she said with a smirk. As the agent stepped outside, the flag behind the judge's bench stirred in the breeze. Not in shame, but as if breathing again for the first time in years. At the courthouse steps, Miller noticed a young girl clutching a sign. My brother deserves a second chance. He met her eyes, then looked back at the building. Justice couldn't erase the past, but today it had reclaimed the future.